mi escudo y defensor, Salvador que libra hoy, es mi Dios, es mi Dios. El Señor me premia por mi conducta y mi valor, es mi Dios, es mi Dios. Te alabaré, Señor, te alabaré, Señor. El Señor es mi bastión, mi baluarte y salvación, es mi Dios, es mi Dios, mi escudo y defensor, Salvador que libra hoy, es mi Dios, es mi Dios. El Señor me premia por mi conducta y mi valor, es mi Dios, es mi Dios. Te alabaré, Señor, te alabaré, Señor. El Señor es mi bastión, mi baluarte y salvación, es mi Dios, es mi Dios, mi escudo y defensor, Salvador que libra hoy, es mi Dios, es mi Dios. El Señor me premia por mi conducta y mi valor, es mi Dios, es mi Dios.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Drink Podcast of Joy and GOZO TV, where we are going, GOZO what? The weather's got you down. The brakes in your car, they don't work anymore. You're looking at your wallet, at your waistline, bro, man, wondering what's going on. Don't worry. Let's spend the next few minutes talking about grace, talking about joy, talking about God, talking about GOZO here Today at the Drake Podcast of Joy and GOZO TV, I'm here with my GOZO mug. How are you, my dear friend? Talking to you today about strategies that will help you grow in self-confidence in 2017. Who wants to grow in self-confidence? But before I get into the topic today, let me have a little sip of my GOZO mug and my coffee. Oh man, that's really good, but that's not coffee, that's water. Oh man, they tricked me. How are you, GOZOlandia, GOZO Nation, GOZO heads, viviendo la vida, GOZO, viviendo en la calleGOZO. My name is David Trigg, and I am so excited to be here with you on this beautiful Friday. You made it. Welcome, my friend Steven. Thank you. That's right, my GOZO mug. Thank you so much, my friend Steven. Welcome to the show. Talking today about 7 strategies that will help you as a man, as a woman, as a family person, as a leader in the church to be more self-confident. Because here's the thing, everyone has these amazing goals in 2017, right? You want to make more money, find your dreams, find the love of your life. You want to be successful, serve God, help the poor, lose some weight in the process, go on a bike ride, huh, Steven? But here's what happens. What do you do when the problem is in your confidence? And what happens when that struggle with confidence doesn't just kind of, it didn't just happen yesterday. It's something that you've been dealing with for maybe 30, 40 years, maybe less than that. But my point is that these things don't just go away, right? So I want to give you these 7 strategies that I think are going to be very helpful to you. So make sure that you invite your friends. Let me know where you're watching me. If you're on Periscope, it's a brand new platform that I'm using. That's actually Twitter/Periscope. So if you are here on Periscope, welcome. So glad to have you. My dear friend Ed, glad to have you here. Let me go to Periscope really quick. Here on my phone, make sure that if you're watching me on YouTube Live or on Periscope Live, man, everybody's live these days, that you are saying hello here to my, 14 viewers right now. So welcome here on Periscope. Put in the chat box a couple things. If you have an area where you are very confident in, then put a 1 in the chat box below. Or if you're on Facebook, just simply write down what is that area that you feel really confident in. Maybe it's in your handsome looks. Maybe someone told me the other day, I'm a very bossy person. So write down in the chat below, what is that area that you feel very confident in? Because that's actually one of the strategies I want to talk to you about. Welcome to Fior. Pib E. Glad to have you. Thank you so much. Make sure on Periscope that you share this out. Just simply go to the 3 buttons there on your right, I think it is, and just press those 3 buttons on Periscope, and you can just press follow so that you get a notification every time that I'm live. But again, put in the chat there below, what is that area where you feel very confident in? For me, without a doubt, it's music. Every time that I play my music, my songs, I feel like it's my sweet spot. So I feel very confident. But what do we do with all those areas? Thank you for the hearts, by the way, on Periscope. Glad to have you. Hope you like my new slides here and don't forget to subscribe to my podcast. It's at lifeofgozo.com/daily devotion. So you can catch the latest news every day. So now, even though we all have 1 or 2 things that we're really confident in, there are also those things that we're not. And I don't even think they're skill related. Although that's often how they express themselves, but often it's something inside of us. So I want to give you these 7 strategies. But before I get into that, I want to do a little bit of the weather report here because, we do everything around here on this beautiful day. So let's check out the weather. Let's see if we can get to that here on my cool, awesome, handy dandy notebook. So the noticias for today, February. It's already what? Today is the 16th of December of 2016. These are the top news today. Stories. CNN, gloves off. Ooh. White House creates rift between Obama and the Trump teams. All right, here we go. It's time to take those gloves off. Time magazine says that James Corden has joined Mariah Carey, Lady Gaga, and Adele for a Christmas carpool karaoke. I love those karaoke YouTube things that guy does. Did you see the one with Madonna? Man, that was amazing. Again, top stories here on Friday, December 16th. CBS News, the Apprentice star joins a Trump transition team. How about that? Someone from The Apprentice. Remember the Apprentice show that Trump had all those years? Very successful. I loved it. So one of those stars apparently now is on his transition team. How amazing is that? Now, in the last news of the day here on this Friday, December 16th, Washington Post says you may loathe this frigid weather, but certain retailers love it. Guess who loves it? Starbucks, man. Talk about them loving this weather. Everybody likes to drink more coffee. What about the weather for today? Speaking of weather, let me see if I can get you to that. Wow, look at that. Today's weather is a bit cloudy here in the LA area. We have, if you're here in the Los Angeles, Southern California area, it does seem to be a very cloudy day and a lot of rain, a lot of cloudiness. So make sure that you're out there and that you're not getting too wet, even though, as we all know, we love the rain. Now, the traffic, man, if you're in the LA area, that was actually from about an hour ago. Not as red as it probably is now. But if you're out today, maybe this afternoon, hopefully your freeway commute won't be as bad as it probably is today and right now, especially in the rain. But getting back to today on this beautiful day, thank you so much always for joining us. I did want to do one more thing. We have one of my sponsors. I wanted to, before I forget, just to tell you about them. They are a really awesome streaming software. There it is, called Restream.io. And so if you are someone who likes the news, who likes social media, and you want to know how I do this show, I am a coach, so I can help you learn the basics of how to produce your own podcast, your own show. Obviously, you can just use your phone, but if you want to take that next level for your business, if you're a musician, for your nonprofit or church, I am a coach in that area, would love to help you. And Restream.io is one of my sponsors, so thank you to Restream. But anyway, so here are the 7 strategies. Let's talk about these strategies that will help you grow in self-confidence. So here we go. Number 1 is to be self-aware. The number 1 principle that I teach in terms of self-confidence is to be self-aware. Now, what do I mean by that? In other words, it's to focus on the things that you do well. And this is very common. This is what everybody tells us. But it's something that most of us just don't do. Because the problem of self-confidence comes because you're feeling like you don't do something well. That there's an area in your life that you're failing at. You have memories of the past. You have things maybe that are playing in your head, memories or messages from parents. It could be something biological or genetic where you have a predisposition to fear and to feelings of self-worth or unworthiness. Now, what I mean by self-awareness is to ask yourself the question, how do you feel when you do something well? And so I want you to put in the chat below, what is that one thing that you feel confident in? So as I said, I was asking this to someone the other day and she was saying, I love bossing people around. And I said, well, why do you do that? How do you feel when you do that? She said, I feel very organized. Like I'm telling everybody where to go and what to do. Guess what? That's a leadership or a managerial gift that she has, right? Even though it comes across as bossing others around. Hey, that's what the great bosses do. They boss people around, right? So she feels organized. So now let me ask you the same question. What's the one area where you feel confident in? Now, as I mentioned earlier, for me, it's music. When I'm playing my guitar, when I'm singing my songs, when I'm in that zone of just really, whether it's worshiping God or writing a song or whatever it may be, I'm in my zone. Now, how do I feel? Hello, my sister Sandra. Exactly, Stephen. So music. So how do you feel when you're in that place? So for me, I feel like I'm the best. I feel like nobody is better than me. I feel dominant. I feel like a lion. I feel that I have put in the work that goes into being an excellent musician. I feel that I know I'm going to have dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands of people tell me that was amazing. So you see how all of those things go into that feeling of being confident. So that's the first principle I want you to think about is what does that feel like? So I want you to literally write down in the chat box below, and maybe on your own separate sheet of paper, what is that thing that makes you feel powerful and dominant, like a lion? Rah! I really want to have you think of it this way, because I think that sometimes in Christian circles, we're all, like the lamb, el gatito, meow. And then we wonder why we're all fearful and wondering why we're all scared of our own shadows. We're fearfully and wonderfully made, not supposed to be fearful. Remember, there's fearfully and wonderfully made. What's the thing that you are dominant in? And I like using that word. Don't be scared of that word, because there's something in your life where you feel like you are the best, that if anybody competed against you, that you would win. Even if you're not a competitive type, I know that there's something in your life that you think, man, when I cook that meal, it's the best ever. When I create that show, when I put on that thing at school, it's just mic drops mic. So think about that. And then, as I said, describe how you feel. Number 2 is debunk the obstacles. My guitar, exactly. Number 2 is debunk the obstacles. Because what happens is that the reason why you feel you doubt is because there are limiting beliefs inside your head. So what I mean by debunking the obstacles is you have to get honest about the people, the places, and the relationships. I guess that would be people, places, and let me say it this way, maybe the buildings or the location is what I mean to say, that make you feel weak, that take away your confidence. Debunk the people in your life that make you feel insecure. There could be people in your life, it could be from your past, as I said, that play that tape in your head. Parents, teachers. It could be even someone that you work with that constantly, whether deliberately or not, makes you feel like you are less than. Distance yourself from that person. Now you might say, well, that's my husband, Trig. That's my boss. Obviously, you have to still be in relationship with people, but it means that you write a list. Here's a tip that I've used often. Have a safe people list in your back pocket or in your phone, so that when that critical feedback comes in, or that mental stigma, that limiting belief gets into your head, and especially comes from a person, you go to your safe zone list and you say, is Randy on this list? Nope. That means he's not safe. That means I'm not going to listen to what he's saying. No matter how I feel, no matter how cycle I'm in of oh no, this is wrong, he's not on my safe list. Number 2, again, is places. Sometimes there are places that make you feel insecure. What about online? Are there people online or places online that you need to stop visiting because that particular Instagram stream or that Facebook page just makes you feel low? You have to eliminate those people, those places, those situations, so that you can be very clear on the things that trigger you. Now, alongside of this second one, I don't know if I have it in here. Yeah, I do have it as number 4. Let me jump to number 4, which is forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for past mistakes or failures. Now, what I really mean by this, let's call it number 3. I'll get back to the other one here in a second. Number 3 is to forgive yourself. And really, this is very important because I think that, and let me put it another way, is take care of yourself when you're in that spin cycle. You know, sometimes when you're in that zone of blaming yourself and someone gets through your defenses, we then get really low because we let that arrow get through our shield, right? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Sometimes we're in that place of self-doubt, or we don't feel very powerful because something got through. It touched our heart. And then what do we do when that thing cuts through or gets to our heart? We then blame ourselves for being weak. Here's my advice. Number 3, give yourself time to heal. You are going to feel the wound of that friend. of that person that loves you. Don't act like a superhero. Stop trying to be so powerful that you tell yourself, I shouldn't have let that bother me. You're going to let that thing bother you. You're going to have those words get through to you, even though you tried your best not to. So when you're in that cycle, take time to heal. And now here it is. It may take you 24 hours. It may take you 3 days. Sometimes it may take you up to 3 months or even a year to heal from that wound. So number 3 is get real with self-care. Number 1, again, self-awareness. Number 2, debunk the obstacles. Number 3 is forgive yourself. Number 4 is get some feedback. Now, the reason why sometimes we don't grow in self-confidence is because we're afraid of feedback. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? We're so afraid to hearing people's comments or to asking even our safe friends for their input because we feel so afraid. And the reason why we sometimes feel afraid is because we don't have confidence that we're going to respond with strength to their feedback. That it's going to destroy us. Now, in order to help you with that, I recommend that you go back to your safe zone list. Remember that thing I just mentioned a few minutes ago? Have a list of those 3-4 people that are your safe zone people. So let me ask you a question. Who are your safe zone people? Now, obviously, it could be your wife, your family, your friend, maybe a coach that you have. Write them down. You want to see them on a list so that when that feedback comes in, you check your list against them and you say, is that feedback coming from a safe person? And don't be idealistic about that list. Make it as real and as safe as possible. Again, it's called a safe list. It's not, I should listen to that person or I should put myself in front of that really mean coach. It's not a I should list. It's a safe list. These people have to make you feel safe. You need to feel safe with those people so that you actually go back to them and ask them for feedback. So that's number 4. Number 5 is go on a new adventure. These are the 7 tips in order to grow in self-confidence in 2017. Number 5 is go on a new adventure. Many times our environment keeps us in a place of depression and of anxiety. Sometimes the people that we're associated with, or maybe our jobs, just don't really enable us to grow. You might be an entrepreneur, someone who has your own business. You might be a parent who's trying to do something new in life. Often, it is important to go on a new adventure, to do something different, to tell yourself, 2017, it's not going to be just about growing my business or being a nicer, kinder person. It's actually going to be about doing a brand new adventure. Now, 2016 maybe was that year for you. So mature that adventure. You don't have to start 5 new ones. But sometimes we fall into ruts that are almost like self-fulfilling prophecies because the people that we have surrounded ourselves with are depressing to us. Or maybe the activities at work that we're having to do don't make us feel alive. And we default to, well, I need money, I need to provide for my family, all the things that are normal and that everyone worries about. You're not the only person that worries about those things. But the people that emerge, the people that grow in confidence, are the people that realize that that fear is actually making you worse, not better. Here's the thing. Let me just get into this a little bit. When you are dealing with self-confidence issues, your mind tells you, be safe, protect, insulate yourself from others because you're trying to protect your heart from that pain, from that insecurity. Now, guess what goes out the window when you begin to do that? Your sense of adventure and risk and faith. You can't do both. You can't walk on water and get out of the boat and sink at the same time. You can't do both at the same time. You can't both have faith and doubt at the same time. You can't worship both God and money at the same time. You can't do you can't do both. You have to choose one or the other. And so sometimes you have to get out of your rut so that you can awaken once again to that fearlessness that is in you. That fearlessness is not out there somewhere. It's not in some coach that needs to tell you that you're amazing. You don't need to watch a million videos from Tony Robbins or Gary Vee or some pastor or even this show. You need to grow in self-confidence yourself. And the only way that you're going to do that is by taking risks once again. Because when you take that risk, you feel what? You feel alive. You realize what's really in you. So man, that's a good one for me. Okay, that's number 5. Number 6, forget discovering your purpose. Instead, learn to listen. Learn to listen to God. Learn to listen to life around you. Now, one of the big things that everyone's telling you these days, all the online gurus and all those expensive courses that everyone's selling you for $19,000, what are they all telling you? Find your purpose. Find your purpose. And you're like, man, I hate that question. Put a 1 in the chat if you hate that question. Finding your purpose. You're like, if I knew my purpose, I would be doing it already. Or maybe you're like, I already know my purpose, but I'm so struggling to fulfill that purpose. Forget about discovering your purpose and learn to listen to your life. Oh man, this is my thing right here. This is my zone. When you listen, instead of trying to discover, you actually pay attention to the little things around you. You pay attention to how that guitar makes you feel when you play it. You pay attention to how being with your son or your daughter makes you feel inside. And now, don't be so quick to say, well, Trig, I'm not going to make a living feeling or playing my guitar or hanging out with my son. It's not about money, bro. It's about you growing in confidence. And when you stop pursuing this imaginary persona that's out there somewhere, you're actually going to realize the richness of the life you already have. Let me reflect on this a bit. I think that for us, maybe let me reflect even on my own life, and maybe some of you can relate. As an immigrant, as a non-white person, as a male, as a non-majority person that are here to make America great again, or as Piolín says, vamos a triunfar, right? We came from other countries. And again, let me just speak to those of us that are of mixed backgrounds or immigrants, or you know what I'm talking about. When we come to this country, or maybe when you grow up with parents who didn't have a ton of material things or success, then we begin to take on this job of providing for them, or of never letting our children go through the things we had to go through. But what happens when we do that is we then begin to paint a picture and to build a construct of something that is outside of us. Oh man, I'm preaching now. This is free therapy. You guys got to pay me some bucks for this. I'm just kidding. My point though is that when we begin to pursue or climb that ladder, there's a sense of depression that comes every few years. It's been true of my life. It's been true of many of the people that I help daily. Because that construct, that superhero that's out there, this, I want to provide for my parents, or I want to be the best son, or I want my own daughters to never suffer like I did, you can never reach it. And most of all, you forget what's inside of you. So forget about finding your purpose. Instead, listen to your life. As one of my favorite books says, let your life speak. And from that, you will begin to have that confidence once again. And the last one, these are the 7 strategies in order to grow in self-confidence 2017, is to deepen your faith in God. At the end of the day, when all is said and done, you have to know that you are a child of God, that you are loved by a supreme being that loves you no matter what. That even though you may have pain from church, or you may be into a different kind of religion, or you might be, quote, more evolved from the faith of your youth, never, never, never forget that at the end of the day, it is God in heaven through his son Jesus who loves you and who cares for you and who provides that firm foundation that you need, that your parents couldn't give you, that your wife cannot do, or that even your own life cannot provide. At the end of the day, I love what this verse says here, and I want to read it for you just briefly, see if my phone is still alive. It says here in Romans chapter 8. This is a beautiful passage that I love to read to myself daily. It says, the spirit you receive does not make you slaves so that you live in fear again. Rather, the spirit you have received from God in heaven through his son Jesus brought about your adoption to sonship. You are adopted into a family. You are a son that belongs to a loving father. And though it says here, and so it says, and by him we cry, Abba, Father. Man, I wish I could just unpack that whole passage, but really the simple message there is that you are a son of God. You are loved by a supreme being. The wind can't be your father. The ocean can't be your parent. The stars of the sky are not your father that loves you. He can't adopt you. And what is it that we as humans need? We need relationship with a supreme father. That is why Jesus has come into this world to be that son of God, to be that example of the ultimate sacrifice, of adopting you into the family of God, of loving you and sacrificing all for the sake of your life. So I want to close, my dear friends, with this song. I'm going to turn the music down that I really hope will help you just to grow in just this whole thing of sonship and of being a child of God. As I said, I love music, and so I hope that this song encourages you. It's called No Longer Slaves, a song that many people love, and I hope that it encourages you. It's called No Longer Slaves by Bethel Music.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies. To all my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name. I've been born again into your family. Your blood flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. Oh, 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 oh. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and sing. I am a child of God. I am a child of God.
hope that song encourages you and can give you just a little sense of the love of God. Thank you so much for listening. I gotta go. You have to go. Make sure that you share this episode with everyone. I think that hopefully it encouraged you in deep ways, touched your soul. 7 strategies to a more self-confident 2017. Make sure that you come back here every day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific. Share this out. Let somebody know about this great podcast so they can also benefit from the awesome truths and the awesome relationships that we're building here. Thank you again for being here, my friend. Have a great day. Have a great this week. Have a great this month. And I will see you next time. Adios. Vamos a bailar ahora. Vamos.